Welcome back, students. Now, if you have watched the videos properly, then it's okay. If not, then please do watch the videos properly. And if you are new to the channel, then kindly like and subscribe so that you don't miss any notification. In this video, while teaching this video, I'm going to ask you some very important questions. So watch the complete video properly and understand the concept so you can answer the questions. Okay, so let's start. Fine. In the previous video, I have told you that we can change the state of matter by two things. One was change in temperature, remember, and the second thing was change in pressure. In detail, we have studied that how the change in temperature affects. Okay. Now we'll see how the change in pressure affects the particular state. Okay. Now see, over here I have taken a container. This is a gas cylinder. Fine. And this cylinder is filled with a gas. This is some gas. And above the cylinder, a movable piston is there. Okay. Now, this movable piston, when you compress it, this is the same diagram. So where after compression of the movable piston, what you will observe that the gas particles which were far apart earlier, they have come very close together over here, isn't it? Okay. So, and they are occupying a lesser volume. So, now by seeing this, you can say that when you are applying pressure, the particles of gas are coming close together, isn't it? And when the particles of gas come close together, then some intermolecular forces start operating, which we have talked about earlier. Okay, fine. And because of which a gas can easily be converted to liquid first. Okay, it is converted to liquid, or we can say the gas can be liquefied. Fine. Now, if you want the process to be more quick or more smoother, then what we can do, along with the increase in pressure, like here we have increased the pressure, we can decrease the temperature as well. Okay, increase in pressure and decrease in temperature. Fine. Now, when you decrease the temperature, what happens? When we are decreasing the temperature, kinetic energy, remember I have earlier also mentioned this, kinetic energy, the energy associated with the motion of particles, kinetic energy will decrease. Okay, now see, for example, these are the particles. When they are at higher temperature, these particles will be moving with more speed. Okay, but when you decrease the temperature, then the particles will slow down. Fine. And just imagine on your own that when the particles will slow down, then these intermolecular attractive forces will easily operate. You are increasing the pressure, you are decreasing the temperature, particles come close together, and between them the attractive forces will start operating and the gas can be liquefied. Okay. So, the first question, how can a gas easily be liquefied? Okay. Answer in the comment section. Fine. Now, so we can say here, your answer is here only. Okay. Now, there are many gases which can be easily liquefied. For example, ammonia gas. Okay, ammonia gas can be liquefied by the same method, by decreasing temperature and increasing pressure. Then a very common one, solid carbon dioxide. See, we know basically carbon dioxide occurs as a gas. Okay, when you increase the pressure, when you apply very high pressure on that gas, then it gets converted into solid because the particles come very close together. Okay, and this solid carbon dioxide, it is converted from what? CO2 gas. Fine. Carbon dioxide is written as CO2. This is the formula. Fine. At high pressure. Okay, so over here, and this solid carbon dioxide is also known as dry ice, and this dry ice is used as a refrigerant for deep freezing the things like ice cream, etc. Okay, it is having very low temperature, so it is used for deep freezing the things. Fine. So now I hope you are very clear with this. That is, how can you change the state? By changing temperature and by changing pressure. Okay, liquefaction of gases and the example. Now we'll see scales of temperature. The common unit of temperature is degree Celsius, which is written like this, degree and capital C. The SI unit, that means the unit which scientists use for the calculations and all, is Kelvin, which is written as capital K. Okay. Then the relation between both of them is 0 degree Celsius is equals to 273 Kelvin. Fine. Now over here you can see melting point of ice is 0 degree Celsius. So that means it is 273 Kelvin, because 0 degree Celsius is equals to 273 Kelvin. Okay. Boiling point of water is 100 degree Celsius, and in Kelvin we can say it is 373 Kelvin. Okay. Now if you want to convert the temperatures of Celsius to Kelvin, Kelvin to Celsius, then this is the formula. Memory aid it is. Okay. Temperature in Kelvin will be equals to temperature in degree Celsius plus 273 Kelvin. That is, if you want to calculate temperature in Kelvin, you are being given temperature in Celsius and you want to convert it into Kelvin. What you will do? You will add 273. If you want to convert a temperature in degree Celsius, means temperature in Kelvin is given to you and you want to convert in degree Celsius, then you will subtract 273. Okay. Now there is a very important advantage of this Kelvin scale, that is, in Kelvin scale all the values we will get positive only. Okay. And Celsius, you know, we get negative values also, like -5 degrees Celsius, etc. Temperature goes in negative also, isn't it? Fine. Now there is one more third unit of temperature, a very common unit, widely used. Okay. Which is Fahrenheit. Fine, it is written as degree F. Fine. Now relation between degree F, that is Fahrenheit, and Celsius is given here. That is, degree F is equals to 9/5 degrees Celsius plus 32, or 9/5 can be written as 1.8 also. Okay, this is the relation. That means if you want to convert Fahrenheit means Celsius to Fahrenheit, then you can use this formula, and you know how to convert Celsius into Kelvin. Okay. Now for example, normal body temperature, we know it is 37 degrees Celsius, which can be written in Fahrenheit as 98.6, and it is in Kelvin 310. Okay. Fine. Now questions related to this will be in the description box. Fine. So go through the concept clearly, and then you have to answer the questions given to you in the description box in the comment section. Now let us see evaporation, a very important topic and a very important phenomenon which is occurring in our day-to-day life nearby. Fine. First of all, let me define the evaporation. It is the process of liquid changing into vapor or gas even below its boiling point. Okay. Now evaporation, in it we know that a liquid changes to gas but below its boiling point. You know what is boiling point now? Below the boiling point the liquid will change into a gas. Now why does evaporation occur? You have never seen evaporation or the particles getting evaporated by your eyes, isn't it? Fine. But when boiling is occurring, you can observe something. You can observe it very clearly. Okay. So why does evaporation occur? See, for evaporation, I have drawn a container over here. In this container, I have filled the liquid. Okay. Now some of the particles over here, the particles which are on the surface. So these particles, all the particles, they are getting collided with themselves, isn't it? They will collide within themselves. They will pass on energies, etc. Fine. Now few particles will gain enough energy that they can escape out. Okay. So the particles, these particles which are on the surface, their surface energy, okay, their surface energy will be very high. it will be high, so that they can escape out. The surface energy will be high than the intermolecular forces. We are using this word again and again. Already in the previous video I have explained you this. Okay, so these particles, due to the collision between all the particles, few particles, their energy will become higher. That is, the surface energy will become higher, so that higher than the intermolecular forces, and because of which these particles will easily escape out. Okay, and that is only the process of evaporation. Fine. Now over here, evaporation and boiling. Boiling also you have seen. There is a very important difference between both of them, evaporation and boiling. Fine. Boiling also you have seen, evaporation also as such you have observed. Fine. So let us differentiate between both of them. Evaporation, it is a surface phenomenon. When I am saying surface phenomenon, it means that only the particles which are on the surface will get evaporated, not the particles which are inside. Okay, in this example, only the particles, see, on the surface move up, they escape out. Okay, here, but not the particles which are inside the bulk. Bulk matlab inside, andar ki taraf. Okay, boiling, it is the bulk phenomenon. Boiling you can observe. Take a container, put some water in it and keep it on the gas stove for boiling. You have seen the entire liquid undergoes a turmoil, isn't it? So boiling, it is a bulk phenomenon. Fine. And evaporation, it is a slow process. For evaporation, what you can do, take a container, again put some liquid in it, and you can keep it in shade only. Fine. And after 1 or 2 days, you will observe the entire liquid has been evaporated. It depends upon certain factors. Evaporation depends upon certain factors, we'll see further, but you will observe that the water gets evaporated slowly. So evaporation you will not observe as such, it will occur very slowly, and it will take quite 1 or 2 days also. Fine. Boiling, it is a rapid process. That's what example I told you. You kept water in a container on gas stove, you will observe boiling within few minutes only, isn't it? Evaporation, it occurs below boiling point at any temperature. Like for example, water will evaporate below 100 degrees Celsius at any temperature. Okay, but boiling, it occurs only at boiling temperature, which is, if I am talking about water, it is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, evaporation, energy is supplied by surroundings. Now obviously, if these particles here, they are moving, they are evaporating, so they need energy. From where the energy is given to them? They are taking the energy from the surroundings only, heat energy, or okay, from the surrounding atmosphere they will take the energy and they will move up, okay, or evaporate. But boiling, we are providing the energy. For boiling, you are keeping the gas stove on, isn't it? So you are providing energy, then only the boiling will occur. Fine. So these are the major differences between evaporation and boiling. Okay. Now there are certain factors which affect evaporation, very important factors. Okay, these are temperature, surface area, humidity and wind speed. Let us see these factors one by one in detail. First of all, it is temperature. Very simple. ठीक है, अभी टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा है, यू हैव टेकन अ कंटेनर, आपने एक कंटेनर में पानी ले लिया है, ठीक है, आप उसको रख दीजिए बाहर. गर्मी के दिनों में वो जल्दी इवेपोरेट होगा, बट इन विंटर्स इट विल इवेपोरेट स्लोली. हमने सुना है ना ऐसा कि रिवर वाटर है, पॉन्ड वाटर है, ठीक है, बहुत जल्दी सूख जाता है, गर्मियों में पानी सूख जाता है. क्यों? क्योंकि रेट ऑफ इवेपोरेशन इज हाई. ओके, बट सर्दियों में ऐसा नहीं होता है. फाइन. सो यू कैन से दैट when temperature is directly proportional to evaporation. When I am saying directly proportional, what does that mean? That आप टेम्परेचर बढ़ाओगे तो इवेपोरेशन भी बढ़ेगा. इसलिए दैट इज व्हाई आई टोल्ड यू कि गर्मी के दिन में टेम्परेचर ज़्यादा होता है तो इवेपोरेशन का रेट भी ज़्यादा होता है. ठीक है, जल्दी इवेपोरेट हो जाती है कोई भी चीज़. फाइन. सरफेस एरिया, सरफेस एरिया का मतलब होता है कि द सरफेस विच इज इन कॉन्टेक्ट विद द एटमॉस्फेयर, ठीक है। इसका भी एक सिंपल एग्जाम्पल मैं देती हूँ। व्हेन वी वॉश अवर क्लोथ्स, ठीक है, देन व्हाट आवर ममाज डू, व्हाट दे डू, दे विल स्प्रेड अप, ठीक है। आप क्लोथ्स को स्प्रेड अप करके फिर आप सुखाते हो ना, you don't entangle them and put it on the string to get them dried up, isn't it? हम क्या करते हैं, उनको पूरा स्प्रेड करते हैं। क्यों स्प्रेड करते हैं? क्योंकि जब आप उनको स्प्रेड करते हो उनका सरफेस एरिया क्या हो जाता है, इंक्रीज हो जाता है, और फिर आप उनको सुखाओगे तो वो जल्दी सूख जाएगा, ठीक है। सो सरफेस एरिया इज ऑल्सो डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू इवेपोरेशन, यानी कि सरफेस एरिया ज्यादा है तो इवेपोरेशन भी ज्यादा होगा, ठीक है, या जल्दी होगा। आई कैन से इट इज ऑल्सो डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू इवेपोरेशन। सी आई एम राइटिंग डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल, उसका मतलब वही है कि आप इसको इंक्रीज करोगे तो ये भी बढ़ेगा, इसको इंक्रीज करोगे तो ये भी बढ़ेगा, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट फैक्टर इज ह्यूमिडिटी। ह्यूमिडिटी, अब ऐसा हम बोलते हैं ना, इन द रेनी सीजन, आज तो बहुत चिपचिप हो रहा है, या बहुत ज़्यादा ह्यूमिड गर्मी है, ऐसे मॉइस्चर है, इजंट इट? सो ह्यूमिडिटी का मतलब क्या होता है? ह्यूमिडिटी इज द मॉइस्चर कंटेंट प्रेजेंट इन द एयर, ठीक है। हवा में कितना मॉइस्चर है, ठीक है, उसको बोलते हैं ह्यूमिडिटी। रेनी सीजन में हम बोलते हैं आज उमस वाली गर्मी हो रही है। उमस का मतलब क्या होता है कि बहुत ज़्यादा मॉइस्चर कंटेंट है तो हमें चिपचिप लग रहा है, और वैसी गर्मी है। अभी जो समर सीजन में जो गर्मी होती है नॉर्मल मई जून में, ठीक है, अप्रैल मई वगैरह में, तो उसमें क्या होता है कि ड्राई गर्मी होती है, एकदम ड्राई, हवा में कोई मॉइस्चर कंटेंट नहीं होता है। ओके, सो ओवर हियर फाइन ह्यूमिडिटी, इट इज द मॉइस्चर कंटेंट प्रेजेंट इन द एयर। ओके, अब आप खुद बताइए, यू ओनली टेल मी दैट व्हेन यू इंक्रीज द ह्यूमिडिटी, अगर हमको कपड़े सुखाने हैं, ठीक है, तो आप रेनी सीजन में सुखाते हो तो जल्दी सूखते हैं, या समर सीजन में सुखाते हो तो जल्दी सूखते हैं? टेल मी दैट। यस, आप जब समर में सुखाते हो तो कपड़े जल्दी सूखते हैं, इजंट इट? क्यों? क्योंकि ह्यूमिडिटी कम होती है। सो आई कैन से दैट ह्यूमिडिटी इज इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू इवेपोरेशन। 1/इवेपोरेशन लिखा है ना मैंने, इसका मतलब क्या है? मैं ह्यूमिडिटी बढ़ाऊंगी तो इवेपोरेशन कम होगा, ह्यूमिडिटी कम करूंगी तो इवेपोरेशन बढ़ेगा। इज इट क्लियर? ओके, एंड द फोर्थ पॉइंट इज विंड स्पीड। ओके, वॉटेवर, हमें किसी चीज़ को, घर पे मॉपिंग होती है, ठीक है, ब्रूमिंग, मॉपिंग की हमने, पोछा लगाया घर पे, उसके बाद फैन ऑन कर देते हैं हम फटाफट से। क्यों फैन ऑन करते हैं? ताकि जल्दी से सूख जाए। तो सिंपल है दैट व्हेन यू विल इंक्रीज द विंड स्पीड, देन व्हाट विल हैपन? यस, द रेट ऑफ इवेपोरेशन विल ऑल्सो इंक्रीज। क्योंकि जैसे ही आप विंड स्पीड बढ़ाएंगे या टेम्परेचर भी बढ़ाएंगे, दोनों केस में विंड स्पीड और टेम्परेचर, तो काइनेटिक एनर्जी मॉलिक्यूल्स की इंक्रीज हो जाती है, ठीक है। द काइनेटिक एनर्जी ऑफ द मॉलिक्यूल इंक्रीजेज, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ विच द मॉलिक्यूल विल इजीली एस्केप आउट फ्रॉम द surface and the evaporation will increase. So I will write here also wind speed, that is, it is directly proportional to evaporation. Okay, so temperature, surface area and wind speed, they are directly proportional. That means if you increase temperature, surface area and wind speed, evaporation will also increase. And humidity is inversely proportional, ठीक है, that means that when you increase humidity, evaporation will decrease. Fine. So these three factors are directly proportional. ये तीनों factors बढ़ाओगे तो evaporation भी बढ़ेगा, and this factor is inversely proportional, मतलब आप humidity बढ़ाओगे तो evaporation कम होगा. Okay? Fine. Questions related to this will be in the description box. Fine. So go through the concept and then you have to answer the questions in the comment section. Fine. Now, with evaporation, a very important factor is associated, which is cooling. That's why I've written it over here with a star. Evaporation causes cooling effect. Okay, I'll give you why does it happen, so that also I'll explain you. Okay, let us take one example. आप गर्मी के दिनों में बाहर खेल के आए, ठीक है, या नॉर्मली भी आप बाहर खेल के आ रहे हो, बहुत सारा पसीना हो रहा है, ठीक है, आप आके फ़ैन के नीचे बैठ गए, सो आप जैसे जैसे आपका पसीना सूखेगा, फाइन, सो आपको क्या लगेगा, ठंडा, इजंट इट? सो sweating or perspiration, after perspiration we will feel better or we'll feel a cooling effect. Why does it happen so? See, जब हमारा पसीना सूखता है, we know on our skin there are some small simple pores, okay, from that the sweat is coming out, water droplets are coming out. So these water droplets, when they come out, they will get evaporated, and to get evaporated they will take heat from our body. ठीक है, जो हमारा पसीना होता है जब वो सूखता है, इवेपोरेट होता है, तो वो हीट कहाँ से लेता है, हमारी बॉडी से evaporate होने के लिए. Fine. So the water has changed into vapor by taking heat from our body. That is why we will feel cool, isn't it? इसलिए हमको कैसा इफेक्ट लगता है, कूलिंग इफेक्ट आता है हमको. ओके, कोई और एग्जाम्पल? बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स हैं. लेट अस टेक वन मोर एग्जाम्पल. अभी जैसी गर्मी आएंगी तो हम बोलते हैं कि मटके में पानी रखना चाहिए. वी कैन टेक अ पिक्चर. इफ यू fill अ पिक्चर विद वाटर, देन व्हाट विल हैपन, आफ्टर सम टाइम दैट वाटर विल बिकम कूल, इजंट इट? आप टेम्परेचर नाप सकते हो. जब आपने पानी फिलअप किया है मटके के अंदर, पिक्चर के अंदर, तो आप टेम्परेचर देख लो. जब आप है ना तो उसको बाद में मीन्स 2-3 घंटे या 4-5 घंटे के बाद उसका टेम्परेचर यू कैन मेजर. फाइन. सो यू विल ऑब्जर्व दैट द वाटर बिकम्स कूल. अगेन द रीजन इज सेम, evaporation. Okay, what happens here? In the picture there are small tiny pores, okay, which we are not able to see. From that water seeps out slowly. Okay, when this water seeps out and gets evaporated, it takes heat from the water inside the pitcher. जो अंदर मटका अंदर होता है, जैसे ये एक पिक्चर बना दिया हमने, ठीक है, इसमें यहाँ पे पोर्स होंगे, ठीक है, तो जो ये पोर से जो वाटर इवेपोरेट हो रहा है, यहाँ से जो वाटर इवेपोरेट हो रहा है, वो वाटर हीट कहाँ से ले रहा है, इधर से. हीट विल बी कमिंग फ्रॉम इनसाइड द पिक्चर. जो अंदर जो पानी है उसमें से हीट लेके बाहर ये जो पानी इवेपोरेट हो रहा है, ठीक है. सो बिकॉज ऑफ विच द इनसाइड वाटर विल बिकम कूल. ओके, एंड जो बाहर होल से, टाइनी पोर्स से जो पानी निकल रहा है वो इवेपोरेट हो जाएगा. और वो इवेपोरेट होने के लिए हीट कहाँ से ले रहा है, मटके के अंदर से. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ विच ये जो अंदर का पानी है वो क्या हो जाता है, कूल हो जाता है. ओके, सेम फेनोमेनन अकर्स विद द डेजर्ट कूलर. इन समर्स वी आर यूजिंग डेजर्ट कूलर. Sprinkle water on the green grass, ठीक है, during summers, and after some time you will feel cool. तो ये सारी चीज़ों का रीज़न क्या है, evaporation only, which is giving us the cooling effect. Fine. So watch the video once again properly. I am going to give you some very important questions in the description box. You have to answer them in the comment section. Okay, all the best. So here we are over with the first chapter of class 9th. Fine. Stay tuned. We will be back soon with the next video of chapter 2.